Most people believe that being nice is the ultimate virtue. We're told to be kind, agreeable, and selfless, to avoid conflict, to please others, to make peace at all costs. But beneath this gentle mask, there lies a silent tragedy, the suffering of the overly nice person. Carl Jung warned us that every form of addiction is bad, no matter whether the narcotic be alcohol or morphine, or idealism. And niceness, the compulsive need to be good in everyone's eyes, is one of the most addictive illusions of all. The too nice person doesn't just want harmony, they crave approval. They seek safety in being liked. They learned early that love must be earned, that anger, defiance, or authenticity could cost them affection. So they built a persona, a social mask Jung called the persona, the acceptable self, polished and polite, smiling even while breaking inside. But the problem with living through a mask is that the soul suffocates behind it. When you suppress your anger, your desires, your boundaries, they don't disappear. They retreat into what Jung called the shadow, the dark, unconscious side of your psyche. And eventually the shadow begins to leak out through resentment, fatigue, anxiety, or sudden bursts of rage. The nice person who everyone admires quietly starts to hate the very people they serve. They feel invisible, used, unseen, yet they keep giving, because stopping feels selfish. Here's the brutal truth. Chronic niceness is not compassion, it's self-abandonment disguised as virtue. Real kindness involves choice. But niceness is compulsion. It's the inability to say no because you fear the loss of love. And as long as that fear runs your life, you will attract takers, manipulators, and narcissists who feed on your compliance. Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." The too nice person keeps repeating the same fate, helping those who hurt them, forgiving too soon, staying silent when they should speak because deep down, they are terrified of being unloved. The journey to healing begins when you realize that niceness isn't the same as goodness. It's a strategy, one that once kept you safe, but now keeps you small. If you want to understand why nice people get hurt, you must look into the darkness behind their light. Jung called this process shadow work, the courage to face the parts of yourself you've exiled. The overly nice person represses anger, ambition, and assertiveness. They tell themselves, "I'm not like them, I'm not selfish, I'm not cruel." But repression doesn't erase energy, it stores it. It simmers, it builds pressure, and sooner or later it demands expression. That's why so many kind souls reach a breaking point. They wake up one day and realize they've spent years pleasing everyone but themselves. Their kindness has been mistaken for weakness, their silence interpreted as consent, and in the end, the people they helped rarely return the favor. Why does this happen? Because when you don't respect your own boundaries, neither will anyone else. People don't just see who you are, they feel what you tolerate. And those who exploit empathy are drawn to those who fear confrontation. The shadow of the nice person is not evil. It's power suppressed. It's the lion hiding behind the lamb mask. And integrating that lion, reclaiming your anger, your no, your authority, doesn't make you cruel. It makes you whole. Jung said, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." The empath's evolution depends on one moment of radical honesty. I am done being small to be loved. When you stop running from your shadow, it becomes your protector. Your anger becomes discernment. Your assertiveness becomes clarity. Your boundaries become a mirror that reflects truth to others. You begin to understand that love without strength is dependency, and strength without love is tyranny. True wholeness is the marriage of both. To be authentically kind, you must first be truthful. To be truly peaceful, you must first be powerful. And that power lives in the shadow. You've been taught to fear healing. From chronic niceness isn't about becoming harsh or selfish. It's about becoming real. It's about shifting from "I must be liked" to "I must be true." When you begin to live from authenticity instead of approval, something extraordinary happens. Your relationships change. Some people will leave, those who only valued your compliance, but others will appear, those who value your truth. You start speaking from a deeper voice. You no longer chase validation, because you no longer need to prove your worth. You give out of abundance, not obligation. You can say no without guilt and yes without fear. In Jungian terms, this is individuation, the process of becoming your full integrated self. The empath transforms into the warrior of light, compassionate but with edges, loving but with discernment. And that is what the world needs most. Not more nice people, but more real people. People who can love fiercely without losing themselves. People who can forgive but also protect. The final paradox is this: when you stop trying to be liked by everyone, you become magnetic. Because authenticity carries an aura that imitation never can. So if you've been the too nice one, the helper, the listener, the peacekeeper, remember this: you don't need to kill your kindness. You need to anchor it in truth. As Jung wrote, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Every act of repression leaves a mark on the soul. Every yes you said when you meant no. Every time you swallowed your truth to keep the peace left behind a quiet scar. But here's the miracle: those scars are not your shame. They are the beginning of your transformation. Carl Jung believed that the process of healing and what he called individuation and is an alchemy of the psyche. Your task is to turn emotional pain into wisdom, resentment into strength, and people-pleasing into presence. The lead of your life and your fear, your guilt, your need to be liked is not an enemy. It's raw material. It's the base metal that, through the fires of self-awareness, becomes spiritual gold. The truth is, being too nice was never a flaw. It was a survival strategy. You learned that harmony meant safety, that love had conditions, that being quiet kept you out of trouble. And for a time, that strategy worked. It protected the child you were. But what once kept you safe now keeps you small. You see, niceness is not kindness and it's adaptation. It's armor disguised as virtue. But alchemy begins when you recognize that your armor has turned into a cage. The first step to transformation is not to fight your niceness, but to understand it. To see how deeply it was born from love. A love that longed to connect, to belong, to be seen. And once you see that with compassion, something changes. The inner war ends. You stop judging yourself for being too soft. You begin to realize softness is not the problem and suppression is. When you integrate your shadow, when you allow yourself to feel anger, to speak truth, to disappoint others and survive it, your energy begins to return to you. That quiet resentment turns into clarity. That buried rage becomes power. That old guilt transforms into grounded confidence. And suddenly you start living differently. You say what you mean, not what others want to hear. You help because you choose to, not because you have to. You become unshakable not because you're cold, but because you're whole. Jung said, there is no coming to consciousness without pain. And yet that pain is sacred. It is the fire that burns away illusion and reveals your true form. So if you feel exhausted from being the nice one, don't curse that fatigue, honor it. It's your soul telling you it's ready to evolve. Because the goal is not to stop being nice. The goal is to become real. And when you finally do, and when you merge compassion with power, empathy with truth, you'll no longer be a candle flickering in the wind. You'll be the fire itself.